Brent is tying up one of his favorite snook flies. This is his version of the Seaducer using materials that swim and breathe naturally. This fly also has a weed guard to prevent hanging up in the mangroves. The head of this fly pushes some water, which makes it even more effective.
Well, good day, folks, and welcome to another segment on the bench. Today I'm going to tie up a version of the Seaducer. Yes, I'm using some different materials on this fly. It's what I like fishing the craft hair bugs. They swim so nice, they got great movement, so I'm going to incorporate that instead of the hackle tails that they use on the other Seaducer. I'm going to be measuring my tail out as long as I want it for this size of pattern, of course. Take one clump on one side. I'm using some 6 thou uni thread on here. It just holds these materials a lot better than the flat threads or get really slippery. I'm going to come in with another nice clump of this craft hair. I'll just clean out the underbelly on it. Or the underfur, not the underbelly, the underfur. Got to use the right terminology, right? Now, if there's anything real long here, I'll just kind of get them out of the way. See, it's got a nice taper to it. Cut that off the same length. Tie it on this side. Now, the reason I tie them both on each side, a clump on each side, it gives me a little wider profile. And that helps the fly swim. And this material really breathes nicely, so that's the way I tune my bait fish flies in. I want them to kind of swim like a fish, of course. Here I'm going to be using, this is the Silver Flash Blue Mirage blend. You can use Polar Flash, pretty close to the same stuff. This has got a lot of, it's bright. Some on this side. Tie a little on this side. Spread it around. Get some good turns on here. Using flat thread, you want to make sure you use cement when you cement that on the fly hook. The hook I'm using is we'll talk about that. It's an Owner 1/0 mosquito hook. This is made for minnows, crawlers, and leeches. It's a bait fish, or a bait hook, I should say, and you'll find that in tackle shops. The thing to be mindful of that is the size of the eye. You can still run a 30-pound test through that as well. I like the little thinner hook on this fly because I want to fish this really shallow and leave it in there long. I don't want anything, I really want this fly to be light. I'm going to grab a couple strands here. I got 3, 4 actually. This is, I'll take 3. This is the crinkle mirror flash. Some on each side. 2 or 3 strands, whatever you like, but really bounce the light off. It's got kind of, you see the color of that? It's really cool. It's kind of greeny blend in there. Getting something a little long, I'll just snip that away. Now this here is the Palmer Chenille medium red. I'm going to tie this in for the behind the body, under the collar. Nice effect. We're just going to turn a couple wraps in here. That's a good transition from that, what I've got next. Kind of covers that, looks really good. Now we'll get some dubbing here. This is some blend. I believe I took some of that Semperfly sparkle dub, and then I threw some ice dub in there and just blended it in my blender. I'm going to make sure that all the fibers are kind of stacked. That means they're kind of facing the right way, as you know. I'm going to stack them, get them nice and flat, and then envelope them around the shank. I take a soft turn around, and that becomes a hackle. Now it's good to get a brush. As soon as I find my brush over here, it's a little bit coarse. I want it a little bit coarse so it pushes water. Okay. Now I'm leaving quite a bit at the head here for my weed guard. You know, when you're fishing snook, if you want to get in there and get the job done, you better be fishing really tight to those mangroves. So I'll get my stubbing out of the way. Weed guard, I'm going to be using some, this is 30-pound test. Nice hard bite tippet. And we'll just cover that up. It's just not quite covering up my thread on the front, or get a little of that white from that tail in there showing. So I cover that up now. It's nice now. It should look pretty good. There we go. Happy with that. Now I got to find my little piece of 30-pound. So we have a curvature to it. I want to make sure it's curving back. Take some flat pliers and I'm just going to pinch that down a little bit. Now when I go on the other side here, I'm going to just leave that. I can tie it on the side. Now it's going to want to come around the top a lot easier than if it was round. And I can just pinch it back there. And come over the top. There's our weed guard. These are worth putting on your flies. You can cover this up, make it all prettier if you want. I basically tie flies to fish. I don't critique my flies as long as the fish are on the other end there, when they swim good and the fish like eating them and they last, they're durable. Mission accomplished. Okay, I'd put some cement on that. We're going to put some UV on that later. I'll cut those weed guards just a little past the hook. And you're going to see that I like the two done that way because it's going to protect that hook. It won't hang up on any of the roots or weeds, or you can fish this, any kind of junk, it'll go through it really nice. So now we need some eyes on this. I generally tie all my flies and then I go to put the eyes on in one step. I just use marine goop and it works really good. I've never had any problems. It's UV resistant. I've never had it fail me yet. But here, while we're on the vise, I'm just going to grab some, where's my vodka needle? He always keeps disappearing on me. Anyway, we'll grab a little glue, head cement. This is super weld. If you're using that, I'd use on that shank of that fly before you start, if you like, to make it a little more durable. Find with the uni thread there that it bites really good. It's not as slippery as I say. And I'll come in here with some 1/4-inch eyeballs. These are little prism eyes. A friend of mine in Florida gave me a bunch of those. Bill Baldus, he got a lot of those. They're really nice eyes. So put them on each side. Little cement. I don't push this fly pattern in too much. I want to keep that profile nice and thick. That's why I fold that dubbing the way I did. There's a little glue sticking around there looking for trouble. I'll probably get my fingers in it. If I had found my vodka needle, that would kind of help me with this job. Keep me out of the... There we go. Stick that on there. You see how fat that head is on there? That's going to push some water, and that's going to get the job done for sure. Bring in some Solres bone dry. We got to have that. Toughen these flies up. Make sure that thread ain't coming loose. And you have yourself Very productive snook fly right here. Get a torch on that. And we cure that up. And you're fishing. So I would encourage you to try these Seaducers. This is my style of doing them. It's been good. We'll be tying up different sizes and colors for different species. So you're going to see some really cool flies done with that technique. Thanks for watching. Catch you again real soon.
Thanks for joining us today with our fly guy Brent Schlenker. Check out his new videos on Brent's YouTube channel and Sport Fishing on the Fly.